It's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's freaking awesome.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh. Before I started rapping, if you niggas heard my...
What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another Deadpool Party reaction video. I'm your boy Jay. That is Alexis over there.
Oh, I thought I was at the club.
She thought she was somewhere. One of these ghosts or something come and get you at night. But yeah, we're gonna react to Scariest Deaths, baby. Scariest Deaths. What's it called? Let me look at the whole thing. Yeah, Scariest Deaths. Seriously strange. Yeah, that'll make you, that'll keep you up at night. Yeah. So it's supposed to be really creepy and scary. Let's read the warning first. Seriously strange, and is not a series for the faint of heart. It may scare or disturb you. The world is a very bizarre place, and nothing is off limits. If you decide to continue, we hope you enjoy. Oh, sorry. Let's just get into it, y'all. You ready for this, baby? Hold your heart. Let me see.
What the hell was wrong with you right then? Possessed.
I was gonna get scared. Hold on to me now.
I ain't don't hold
Death
me.
that can come at any time to anyone. Perhaps a car accident or a fall down the stairs. Oh, but don't worry. It can get much scarier than that.
It reminds me of Outer Limits. Twilight.
Dyke.
That's his name, baby. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. I
Jonathan Luna.
mean, baby, you really are.
Jonathan Luna, an assistant attorney from Baltimore, seemed to have his life in order. He was doing pretty well for a 38-year-old man who had grown up in the projects of the South Bronx. At the age of 28, he was already working for a prominent law firm. Those accomplishments aside, it had seemed that Jonathan had his vices as well, some of which were catching up with him. Money had suspiciously gone missing from a case he was working on. He was around $25,000 in credit card debt, and he had an active profile on a dating website, despite being married. But it was a cold day in December of 2003 when those issues would become the least of Jonathan's concerns. A string of creepy events took place upon Jonathan leaving work the evening of December 3rd. For reasons remaining unknown to this day, Jonathan didn't head home. He headed out of Maryland and for Delaware. He told no one. He made no contact. He simply up and left. Jonathan wouldn't be alive to return to work the following day. Jonathan's sudden departure was perplexing, but the events that took place on the road were all that much eerier. Less than an hour after he left his work, $200 was withdrawn from Jonathan's bank account. He used his Easy Pass to get through tolls, which is something used often by frequent travelers to expedite the toll process. It made sense for him to utilize it. However, what was strange was that Jonathan's vehicle didn't utilize the Easy Pass lanes for the entire trip. Part of the way through, he began buying toll tickets, though he wouldn't have needed to. His car stopped for gas, and about an hour and a half later, at 5:30 a.m., his car was discovered near a company parking lot, its front end in a creek with all of its lights off. Upon investigation, company employees stumbled upon a gruesome discovery. Jonathan Luna, covered in blood, lied face down in the water, his head near the front end of his vehicle. The driver's side door had blood smeared on it, and when investigators arrived to examine the body, it was discovered that Jonathan had suffered 36 stab wounds to the chest and neck from a small knife. The weapon was Jonathan's own pocket knife. However, even with the wounds, it was determined that Jonathan didn't die from being stabbed, but from drowning. So it was clear that Jonathan was alive when he reached the company parking lot. The case was ruled a suicide by federal authorities, but local authorities in 2 successive corners believed it was homicide. Peculiar bits of evidence changed some people's minds. Most of the blood was found in the rear seats of the car, signifying that Jonathan may have been a passenger in the car when he was attacked. One of the toll tickets even had a drop of blood on it, leading to the idea that Jonathan was injured even a ways before reaching the parking lot. One thing was for certain. When Jonathan left work, he left a couple of important items on his desk: his cell phone and his glasses. He required his eyeglasses to drive. Without them, he wouldn't have been able to. The investigation of Jonathan Luna's death is still ongoing, and it hasn't yet been determined whether he was actually driving his vehicle at all. There is a $100,000 reward for any information leading to a conviction.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It's well known that some journalists take a tremendous risk on the things they choose to report on. Danny Casolaro would meet a brutal death on his path to bring light to darkness. Danny was a freelance writer who was working on a story that, if released, could have changed the entire world as we know it. He was on the trail of a story other journalists had worked on in parts as well. He referred to it as the Octopus. The Octopus was believed by Danny to be an international underground political faction responsible for a number of major worldwide scandals. The group had the power to put whoever they saw fit into political office, and was even said to be involved in Ronald Reagan's placement into the presidency. The group has multiple arms that reach into numerous facets of the everyday lives of citizens from a number of countries around the world. Danny was fearless. He worked hard to expose this international cabal, and he paid the ultimate price for it. Danny told his family that he'd often receive phone calls late at night threatening and harassing him, attempting to scare him into submission, to drop his pursuit of the truth. He often told his brother, as he came closer and closer to the truth, that if he were to die in any accident, not to believe that it was an accident at all. Danny spoke in a way that made others believe that he was sure that he would meet death for the knowledge he had obtained, and it would seem that he was right. In August of 1991, Danny packed his things with the help of his longtime housekeeper. She recalled him placing a thick group of papers into a black briefcase. He told her that he was going to be meeting with a source that could provide a critical puzzle piece to his story, and perhaps provide him with what was needed to uncover the octopus once and for all. Once he was gone, she reported that she answered a number of disturbing phone calls to his home that night. One voice told her that he would cut Danny's body and throw it to the sharks. That was only one of several. Danny checked into a hotel, and he was soon spotted at a cocktail lounge within the hotel. He spoke with a man that just so happened to be renting the room beside his. Danny excused himself to make a phone call, and when he returned, he claimed that his source had probably blown him off. The next morning, housekeeping entered Danny's room and discovered a horrifying scene. Danny was naked, dead in the bathtub with numerous cuts to his wrists. Blood was covering the bathroom floor and walls. The sight was so gruesome that one of the housekeepers fainted upon seeing it. Investigators found an empty beer can beneath Danny's body, along with 2 white plastic trash bags. A half-empty bottle of wine rested nearby. Aside from the mess in the bathroom, the room was quite clean. On the desk sat a note that read, "To those who I love the most, please forgive me for the worst possible thing I could have done. Most of all, I'm sorry to my son. I know deep down inside that God will let me in." Due to the body's condition and no evidence of a struggle, it was determined that Danny had committed suicide. However, one odd detail was offered by his family. Danny was squeamish and hated the sight of his own blood. So if Danny were to commit suicide, it more than likely wouldn't have occurred in such a way. It was reported that during Danny's funeral, a limousine arrived. A highly decorated military official stepped out, walked to the casket, placed a medal upon it, and saluted before leaving. The man has never been identified.
Wow. Maybe he was a part of something.
Yeah.
Some deaths occur without rhyme or reason, and the evidence left behind will haunt us forever. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Canada visiting Los Angeles, California in early 2013. Unfortunately, the hotel Elisa chose to stay at, the Hotel Cecil, was a place notorious for sinister happenings. A number of terrible things have occurred within its walls, from thefts to suicides to murders. The Hotel Cecil was perhaps best known for being the residence of two prolific serial killers, Jack Unterweger and Richard Ramirez, the infamous Night Stalker, who were responsible for striking immeasurable amounts of fear in their own respective ways through their brutal, merciless murders. One of the most haunting details of Elisa's final moments involved an elevator and were caught on security footage. Elisa can be seen stepping onto the elevator and pressing all of the buttons for an unknown reason. The elevator doors, however, refuse to close. Elisa cautiously steps to the elevator doors and darts her head out as if she were expecting someone to be out there, possibly even looking for her. Her movements are quick, like she doesn't wish to be caught. She ends up pressing herself into the corner of the elevator in what looks like an attempt to hide from an unseen presence. The elevator doors still malfunctioned and refused to close, so she stepped out from the elevator in a series of odd movements. Some time passes and she steps back into the elevator, appearing distressed, only to try again, pressing all of the buttons. What happens next is most chilling, as the doors yet again refuse to close, and Elisa emerges into the hallway and begins moving in a disturbing manner. She moves out of the camera's view and doesn't return. 30 seconds later, the elevator doors finally close, and it moves freely from floor to floor. Disturbing, yes, but it's not over yet. 2 weeks later, residents of the Hotel Cecil complained to management that the water was discolored and that it smelled and tasted funny. When the water tanks on the roof were inspected to discover the cause, Elisa Lam's body was found dead and bloated inside. It was determined that she had ended up inside the tank only moments after she stepped out of the elevator. The problem was that the roof was nearly impossible to access, as it was blocked behind two locked, alarmed doors that Elisa somehow passed through undetected. Even if she had done it herself, climbing the water tanks, opening one, and then closing it behind her would have been even more difficult. Despite this, investigators ruled her death accidental. Chilling, disturbing, and still not over yet. A movie named Dark Water depicts a mother and daughter who move into a slummy apartment where the water begins to run black. The daughter's name is Cecilia, close to Hotel Cecil, and the water's dark color is the result of a dead body up in the roof's water tank. At the end of the movie, the elevator even malfunctions. The movie was released 8 years before Elisa Lam's death. An eerie parallel indeed, however, still not over. An outbreak of tuberculosis erupted in the same location as where Elisa's body was found within the same time frame. The testing kit used for tuberculosis is known as the Lam-Elisa test. Elisa's first and last name switched, spelled exactly the same. Elisa's autopsy revealed that drugs played no role in her death, and though she did have bipolar disorder, her strange behavior and the details surrounding her death have yet to be explained. You see, death itself is nothing to be afraid of, but the manner in which death occurs, well, that's a different story altogether. If you would like to know some more chilling things about death, please see All Time 10's video regarding it. You can do so by clicking here. If you would like to discover what possibly might happen to you after death, please check out All Time Conspiracies video by clicking here. This episode was a collaborative effort with these two channels, so I would very much appreciate if you would continue your quest for creepy by checking them out. That's all for now. Remember, you may not believe it, but anything is possible in a world so seriously strange. I'm Rob Dyke, and I'll see you next Wednesday, so don't forget to subscribe, because you won't want to miss it.
Happy Halloween, y'all.
My hair's just sticking up. That made me cold.
Yeah, it's very chilling, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, especially the Elisa Lam thing. You know, I heard that people actually want to go to that hotel. That's,
oh no.
They think it's like a monument wherever the hotel is at. People go there, they pay to go there and visit the spot. It's crazy, like how they like okay, if somebody died somewhere, I don't want to go there. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna visit the place, the bed she slept in, none of that stuff. That's not interesting to me. It was very mysterious, and you don't want to mess with whatever happened because she was moving crazy. Yeah, let's go there. Yeah,
Oh, hell no!
I thought that one was the most creepiest one. What's her name? Of the girl. Yeah,
Elisa Lam.
That was the most creepiest one to me. It was crazy. All of it was crazy, but that one right there was the most scariest.
Yeah. And they made a movie like 8 years before her death, and it's had like the name and all that stuff.
That was weird.
I don't know, some weird stuff in the universe, y'all. I don't know, and different creepy, crazy things around in the world. If you liked our reaction, hit the like button,
Comment,
subscribe,
share,
leave requests, y'all, and join us on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, y'all, and support Deadpool Party. And we'll give you creepy, crazy reactions to creepy stuff like this in our videos. So keep watching and keep subscribing, y'all. I'm your boy Jay.
I'm Alexis.
And please be careful out there, y'all.